Good morning and welcome to day 3 of Block Island Race Week, presented by Margaritaville. I'm Kate Summers, the Communications Director for Race Week, and in a moment I will turn it over to Chaley Friest with your weather for the day. Not only is it Risk Strategies Gowrie Group Race Day, but after 2 action-packed days on the water, today is everyone's favorite day, the Regatta Craft Mixers Round the Island Race. For 30 years this has been a tradition, and it will take you all past iconic lighthouses, bluffs, and the beaches. It's going to be an amazing fun day, and it's already pretty breezy out there. So as always, stay tuned for morning announcements on your respective VHF channels for directions on how we're going to do that from Race Director Dick Neville. And next, I have to thank again McMichael's Yacht Yards and Brokers for this weather briefing. For over 40 years, McMichael's has been one of the leading J-Boats dealers, and they have over 90 J-Boats here at Block Island Race Week. This year, in honor of this feat, we have named the White Circle the McMichael White Circle because is the role it has played in growing the J-Boat class here in America. So now I'm going to turn it over to Chelsea to tell you about what we have planned for today. And as always, I'll see you right back here at the 10. Have fun out there.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday. Hope you guys had a really nice day out there yesterday. We had plenty of good breeze. Looking at our big picture for today, we still have our high pressure to the north, hasn't moved. What has changed a little bit is this low pressure that's down here near Hatteras, and that is going to be starting to develop and basically lift to the north over the next 12 to 24 hours. So you'll hear me talk a little bit about this warm front here tomorrow as it lifts northward towards our area and maybe even brings a little bit of rain as well. So taking a look at the satellite, we can see it's mostly sunny. There is kind of just like this hazy high level cloud cover overhead, but the sun is coming through, so we should get plenty of sunshine today. There's a little bit of a chance for some low clouds that could come through later this afternoon, but mostly sunny skies. Right now, the winds currently are from the east, roughly 15 to 18 knots or so. We can see it's just starting to come up a little bit in the last hour or so on our graph here on Block Island. So we already have plenty of breeze going on out there. We're talking about our gradient wind once again. Today we are under full gradient wind flow, so that means just those high and low pressure systems are causing our wind today. It's nice and cool out, so we're not going to have too much of a thermal influence. So our gradient winds are 70 to 90 and 15 to 22 knots or so. Now this model is showing kind of this big bubble of light wind to the west of Block. That's just an effect on the model. That probably won't happen that way. A lot of this orange color wind, which is about 16, 17 knots, that will actually fill in across most of this area. So as you guys know yesterday, the wind does fill pretty well across Block from the east. So that's 11 o'clock. If we take a look at 1, we're still kind of in this, 15 to 20 knots. We can see south of Block this little patch of red. Some of that 20 knot wind might creep up a little bit closer to Block than what this shows. So as you guys go around the island, it's going to be a nice beat around the south side, maybe up to 20 knots down there. Going from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, we can see on the east side of Block, it might just be a touch lighter, but I don't think it's going to be that much lighter. The one thing to look out for on the east side of Block is just very close to the shore, within a half a mile or so. Some of that wind on the windward side has to come and then lift up over the island. So the lightest wind is going to be within that half mile to mile of the coast, and then the strongest wind will probably be 1 to 3+ miles out offshore. So taking a look at I did 2 different graphs today. The top one is for east of Block, and the bottom one is, the top one is west of Block, bottom one is for east of Block. So you can kind of get an idea, depending on when you're going around, at what time, what we're gonna see. But you can see basically we're in that gradient 70 to 90 degrees. Wind speeds in the upper teens to low 20s. You can see we have a few gusts here, potentially 20 to 22. On the east side of Block is the windier side, right? So gusts there potentially up to 22 to 24. One last thing I want to mention is that the very end of the afternoon, as we get close to 3:30, 4 o'clock, really towards the end of the day, there's a potential for the wind to just go a little bit to the right. So I'm seeing like a 15 to 20 degree right shift very end of the day as we lose some of that gradient wind. And last but not least, we'll take a quick look at the current. This is going to be a big feature for today. As you can see, it looks really strong when we first start the race, kind of coming around the south side of block. You guys might be fighting some current, and it looks like the lightest area would be to go really close to shore, or kind of get inside of this strong current area. So maybe finding a little relief along the Block Island shore on that side, if that's possible. But obviously you guys do have to go around Wind Farm, and then this side of Block you start to see a little relief there. That's for 11 a.m. And if we look at 1 p.m., we can see it's starting to decrease a little bit. The currents are still coming around both sides of Block, north and south. On the east side, again, it's fairly weak on this side, and it's definitely weak close to shore, but a little bit stronger as the further out you go. And then looking at 3 o'clock, we're getting very close to our low tide, so you can see the currents just generally weaken everywhere. It's got a little bit of current on the west side and a little bit up near 1BI, but for the most part it should be generally getting weaker throughout the day. So really excited to watch you guys go around the island today. Have fun. Here's Kate.
Thanks, Chelsea. Have fun out there is the number one thing. Stay safe and stay tuned. We may open the tent a little earlier today depending on when people get in. We just want to make sure everybody has a chance to have a good time and get their awards. And the most important is stay tuned at 9 a.m. for those directions for how we're doing today's Regatta Craft Mixers around the Island Race Day. Bye.